Protein is a Greek word that is proteos, means the primary or holding the first place. So what is the definition of protein? These are large complex molecules which are made up of the chains of amino acids which are linked together by the peptide bonds there. So it is a large complex molecules which are made up of the chains of amino acids and linked together by the peptide bonds there. So they are very essential macronutrients that play a very important role and a variety of the important roles in the human body. So let's see the overview of proteins. What is the standard definition of protein? Is the proteins are high molecular weight polypeptides containing alpha amino acids joined together by the peptide linkage there. That is carboxyl A or amino, or you can say the amino group A or A starting there, A terminal there. So you can see here the structure, that is what is peptide bond here. Okay, this is amino group or A terminal you can say here, and this is the central carbon atom, and the right R this is the function group, or you can say is the side chain is there, and this is carboxyl group or C terminal you can say. Okay, this is the single structure of amino acid. Okay, so both the amino acid group joins together this peptide bond. Okay, how this peptide bond is formed? That is this carboxyl group. Okay, this carboxyl group and the first amino group of the second amino acid molecule. Okay, the amino group of the second amino acid molecule and the carboxyl group of the first amino acid molecule get together and form the peptide bond here. Okay, oxidation process occurs there and the hydrogen molecule remove here. Okay, and so this is peptide bond, that is C double bond carbon combined with the double bond with oxygen molecule. Okay, and this is the NH2. This is called the peptide bond. Okay, so this is the structure of amino acid and how the proteins are formed here. Chain of the proteins. So the basic building blocks of proteins are amino acid here. So these are the organic molecules that contains central carbon atom, an amino group and carboxyl group and a distinctive side chain. Distinctive means it may be different, depends on the protein molecules, okay, or protein structure. So these amino acids are bonded together by the peptide bonds forming long protein chain. So in this chain there are two ends that we have seen before in the image. That is starting point is called amino terminus. Okay, starting point. This is the amino terminus. Okay, starting point. And the ending point is called the carboxyl terminus. That is C terminus. Okay, this is the carboxyl group C terminus is there. So let's see the structure of proteins. That is, first one is the primary structure. This is the linear sequence of amino acid. Different types of amino acid sequence is there, but in the linear position. It is a straight line in a protein chain. You can see here the primary structure. See, this is the single amino acid molecule, okay, which is linked with the peptide bond with the another amino acid molecule. Like this, the straight chain or linear chain forms the protein molecule. That's why there are different types of more than 100 or more than 10 amino acids are present in a single protein chain. looks like as a helices or helix. Okay, it's just a light corridor. Okay, and due to that, between the two hydrogen atoms, bonds occurs there. You can see here that the hydrogen amino group is there. Okay, amino group is there, and when it gets coiled or folding, two hydrogen atoms comes to each other in front of each other. Okay, and that's why the double bond, hydrogen bond occurs between the two hydrogen atoms here. Okay, understood this? So the two types of structures are occurs there or form, that is alpha helices and beta pleated sheet there. In tertiary structure, this folded or coiled chain becomes a three-dimensional shape. Okay, it gives the three-dimensional shape of a protein, and which determined by the interactions between amino acid chains. Okay, amino acid chain पण folding मध्ये असतात ते it becomes comes in front of each other and interactions होते. Okay, amino acids मध्ये interactions होते. You can see here it look like this. Okay, maximum folding होत जातं in tertiary structure, and there are interactions takes place between all the amino acids, and due to these interactions, see hydrogen bonds occurs there. After that, disulfide bonds also occurs there. Then hydrophobic interactions takes place. Okay, hydrophobic interactions means it do not react with the water molecule, or you can say the water molecule gets removed from that processes or interactions. Okay, then different types of ionic bonds also occurs in the tertiary structure between the all amino acids present in the chain. The last structure is the quaternary structure there, that is arrangement of multiple protein subunits forming as a function protein complex. Okay, understood this? Means the different types of subunits comes together and binds together in this structure. So you can see here the difference between all this structure, that is primary structure of chain, protein chain, that is amino acid, looks like this, the simple chain. Then in secondary structure it becomes folded, and two types of structure occurs there. Okay, alpha helices and beta sheets there. Then tertiary structure, three-dimensional structure occurs of these subunits, and quaternary structures. In quaternary structure, there are all the subunits come together and bind together. So it's just a simple concept like this, that one alpha base comes together or binds together with the bond. Okay, this is primary structure, and with the alpha base, the word is created. Okay, word forms with the different alpha base. It's just like the secondary structure. Then with the words, there are sentence form होतात word. Okay, so it's just a tertiary structure, and with the so many sentences, paragraphs is formed. Okay, so this is the quaternary structure. This is the simple and easy structure to understand. Okay, so what is the functions of these proteins? Proteins, it sometimes acts like the enzymes. Okay, enzymes are catalysts which are helpful in the catalysis process, or enzymes help to speed up the biochemical reactions occurs in the body. Okay, so enzymes, sometimes proteins are acts like the enzymes that catalyze the biochemical reactions by speeding up the chemical processes there. So structural proteins are there which provide the support and structure to cells and tissues. For example, collagen protein and keratin protein is there. Then hormones, it acts like hormones also acts as a chemical regulate or to control the various physiological processes. For example, insulin and growth hormone. So insulin काय करतं? Insulin is a hormone. Okay. So जेव्हा ग्लुकोज मॉलिक्युल्स एक्सेस अमाउंट मध्ये असतं त्यावेळी बॉडीला हार्मोन हा काय करतो? मेसेज देतो की yes, there is now need of mine to control that glucose molecule. Okay. So जी ग्लुकोजची लेवल वाढलेली असते ती कंट्रोल करतात. Okay. So this is the function of this insulin, and sometimes it acts as a protein. Then transport proteins is there. These proteins facilitate the movement of molecules across the cell membrane. For example, hemoglobin. Everybody knows the hemoglobin, right? So hemoglobin's main function आहे it transport the oxygen, okay, in the blood. Then sometimes protein acts as an antibody also. So it is a part of immune system and which defending the body against the pathogen and the foreign substances. Then contractile proteins. These proteins may be present in the muscles. Okay. For example, actin and myosin, and it will help or it enable the muscle contraction and the movement of the muscles. So these are the functions, and the storage proteins are there. Then those are play important role in the store and the release essential molecules. Okay. For example, ferritin that stores the iron and casein in the meat. So sources of proteins, those are animal sources, meat, poultry, fish, eggs, dairy products contains the complete proteins with all essential amino acids. Then next source is the plant source. Mainly vegetarians plant proteins are source. Those are legumes, means the beans, lentils. Then grains are there. Nuts, seeds provide the incomplete proteins that can be combined to form the complete protein sources. Then supplements, extra supplements, those are the protein powders are there which are commercially available. Then shakes, different types of shakes, mostly used after the exercise. Okay, protein shake वगैरे जे असतात किंवा एनर्जी ड्रिंक्स असतात. Then which are the convenient sources of protein often used by the athletes and the individuals with the increased protein needs. So what are the different types of properties of proteins? So the proteins are soluble in water, acid and alkalis also. Then it precipitate. Precipitation everybody knows ice, right? So it precipitate by salt of the heavy metals. For example, silver and mercury. It can react with the silver and mercury and get precipitation, PPT form. Okay. Then the precipitation with alkaloids also. It can react with the picnic acids. Then it may coagulate on heating. When it heat on a steam. Okay, steam or you can say heat on a flame. That time it may coagulate. Okay, means clot proteins. Then for example, albumin and globulin. Then the last property is it shows the color reaction. When you react with some chemical with it, and if the protein is present in a particular solution, then it may show the reaction or it may show the different colors. Okay. Then it may indicate that the proteins are present in that particular solution. So what are the classification? Different classifications are there. Those are proteins can be classified based on composition, shape and function there. So based on composition, there are different types. Those are simple protein, that is it yield only amino acids on hydrolysis. What is hydrolysis process? Everybody knows. Hydrolysis means the breakdown of the chemical compounds. Okay, and after the breakdown of that, this only yield means gain only the single amino acid there. For example, albumin and globulin. Then conjugated protein means the contain non-protein part, and or you can say there the phosphatic group is there. conjugated protein means what? It contains non-protein part and one of the protein part. Means what? Hemoglobin or lipoprotein. So in this hemoglobin, this heme is a, what is heme? Heme is a iron. Okay, and globin is a protein. So heme is iron. Iron is a non-protein part and globin is a protein part. Just like that, lipoprotein. Okay, lipoprotein means lipid plus protein. Lipid is a non-protein part and protein is a protein. Okay, so this is the conjugated protein. Means non-protein part and protein part becomes a conjugated protein. Then next is the derived protein that is formed from partial hydrolysis. Means some part of chemical compounds break down. Okay, not the whole or complete part of the chemical compound broken. Okay, it is formed from the partial hydrolysis of simple or conjugated protein. For example, peptides and proteoses. Okay, these are the enzyme, but this is acts like a protein. Okay, so next classification is based on the shape. So there are different types again. Fibrous protein means what? It is a long thread-like structural role there. And for example, collagen and keratin. Keratin is the skin, okay, and hair. Then globular protein, that is spherical shape. Globular means globe shape, spherical shape. That is functional role. Those are enzymes and hormones there. For example, insulin and some enzymes. Then intermediate means the mix fibrous plus globular protein. That is combination of both the shapes. For example, fibrinogen. Then next classification based on the functions of the proteins. So what are the functions of proteins? That structural. Those proteins use the structure to the cells. For example, collagen is skin and bone there. Then enzymatic function. Those are amylase and pepsin. Okay, amylase is present in the saliva. Okay, and pepsin is present in the stomach. Then transportation, transporter. Protein acts as a transporter where, for example, hemoglobin and albumin. Hemoglobin oxygen transport करता है in the blood. Then hormonal. Proteins also acts as an hormones. Those are insulin and growth hormone there. Then protein again acts as a defense mechanism or defense molecules. Those are immunoglobulins, antibodies. Okay. Then storage. The iron storage. The ferritin is one of the protein that storage the iron. Then contractile, it's a muscle proteins. These are the muscle proteins there, actin and myosin. Okay, so these are the classifications of the protein. So requirement of protein, generally daily intake. So protein requirements vary based on the factors such as age, sex, weight, activity level and the overall health. So recommended dietary allowances, that is ideal for the protein is approximately 0.8 grams per kilogram of the body weight per day for the adult. And for athletes and the active individuals, those engaging in intense physical activity which may require the higher protein intake to support the muscle repair and growth. So protein quality, complete protein and incomplete proteins are there. Incomplete protein contains all the essential amino acids in adequate proportion. For example, animal proteins there, and incomplete proteins lack one or more essential amino acids. For example,